I'm Kim Kirk with a list of 10 things I learned about fear. We're on number 2, but I'll remind you of the first. Fear is not from God. And today we'll see there's no need to fear, even in terrible times, because God is able and faithful. One thing I love about our Lord is that He never minimizes our hardships. He never says, it's not that bad. Instead, he turns our focus to him and reminds us, who are his children, of the end of the story, that we will spend eternity in glory with him. A great example of this is found in one of my favorite Psalms, Psalm 46. We're only going to be reading the first 3 verses today, but I encourage you to make some time and to read through it prayerfully yourself. I know you'll be blessed. It's powerful, it's encouraging, and it will equip and bless you. Psalm 46, verses 1 to 3. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. Can you feel the turmoil and the violence? Can you see it? The psalmist is painting a picture, not just to describe what's happening, but to pull us into this desperate and dangerous situation, one that would cause any of us to fear. And yet he tells us not to. Before we get into some of the specifics of this, I just want to set the context for it. It is believed that this psalm was written against the backdrop of what's recorded in 2 Kings 18 and 19. Hezekiah was the king of Judah, and he was a faithful king who walked closely with the Lord. Sennacherib was the king of Syria, and he was conquering land after land. He'd already conquered Israel and Samaria, and his army was at the gates of Jerusalem. And his leader calls out to the people and to the leaders there in Jerusalem and says, "Don't think your God is going to protect you from me. In fact, God is the one who told us to come and conquer you." He said, don't believe Hezekiah when he tells you that your God will deliver you. What God delivered his people from any of these areas, these towns, these places that we conquered? So this was a very desperate and dangerous situation that they were facing. So Hezekiah goes before the Lord and he prays to him, and Isaiah the prophet says, God will protect you. And he did. The next morning they awakened, and 185,000 Syrian soldiers were dead. They just found their bodies. So with that in mind, let's take a look. Let's take a closer look at this psalm and what it says. It begins by saying that God is our refuge and our strength. Our refuge, meaning the one that we can run to, a place of protection, and our strength, meaning he gives us what we need to face or to do what we need to do. Now, what it says next might seem a little strange because he says that God is our ever-present or very present help in times of trouble. We all know that God is omnipresent, meaning he is in all places at all times. So why would the psalmist specifically say he is ever present in our difficult times? Was it just to remind us of the truth that God is always with us, something that can help us overcome our fears? And we're going to get into that in number 5 on our list. It was actually something completely different. When you get that chance to read through Psalm 46, you might notice a footnote in your Bible that says that the words ever or very present could actually better be translated as well proven. That adds a whole new dimension to this scene. It's talking about God's faithfulness. It's talking about how God has proved himself to be faithful in other situations, which means we can trust him in our current situation. I imagine we can all look back to times in our lives, difficult trials, hardships that maybe even seemed impossible to face or to deal with, and yet our God came through for us. He did it then, and he can do it now. Psalm 46 goes on to say, because God is our refuge and our strength and our well-proven help in times of trouble, therefore we will not fear, even though there's this turmoil and there's this destruction and everything is falling apart. It was true for the Israelites at that time, and it is true for us as well. Psalm 46 makes that very clear. Even in times of trouble, we need not fear because God is able. He is our refuge and our strength, and He is faithful. He is well proven. I hope these truths help encourage your heart and perhaps allow you to turn over to God any fear that you're experiencing. If you'd like some more practical teaching from the Word, you can always find it on my website, kimberlykirk.com. And please join me tomorrow for the third thing that I learned about fear.